This video is brought to you by people who like, share, and subscribe to this channel. You can also support my work by buying me a coffee. The Fellowship of Guelphissauga continues, with a cap on cash cows collapsing the unbalanced books. With the stroke of a pen, Federal Immigration Minister Marc of Miller announced a cap on the number of international students that universities and colleges can import this year. This 35% cut in cash cows ripped through the already unbalanced finances at the Shire's university and elsewhere. Meanwhile, the mayor missed out on his cut from the thousands of speeding tickets given out by the automatic speed cameras in the Shire. He could only afford to buy an old blender and blamed the creatures of the province for the deteriorating condition of his European Inspired SimCity. Can Carly of Klassen and the Elder Elves do anything about the housing cost crisis? And will a cap on cash cows collapse the system? In the ruins of Ottawa, the simple ruffling of papers and strokes of a pen created a butterfly effect across the nation. But it wasn't Sophie handing the Lord of the Liberals his divorce papers. It was the Federal Immigration Minister, Marc of Miller, signing a cap on this year's crop of cash cows. He announced a cap of 364,000 international students for this year, representing a 35% cut in the total crop from last year. The cap will not be distributed evenly across the country, so a larger 50% decrease is expected for the lands of Ontario. The Big Blue Orc and the creatures of the province will get to decide how to split the remaining cash cows between their universities, colleges, and diploma mills. They also have to deal with the extra constraints on cash cows. Marc of Miller also announced a mandated guarantee on housing and a moratorium on public-private college partnerships. Additionally, new international students at public-private college partnership schools won't be eligible for work permits. The new cap and conditions on cash cows ripped through the already unbalanced finances at the Shire's university and elsewhere. It may have unintended consequences for the sector and for international students, the Council of Ontario Universities said, noting that their financiers were already at a breaking point, with at least 10 universities currently projecting deficits this year. Forcing schools to provide on-campus housing would essentially shut them down, and they don't have control over vacancy rates of off-campus housing, they explained. The fat cats at the schools shrieked at the announcement as it ruined their diploma mill business models. Removing the post-graduation work permits from the private partner colleges will impact us by about a third of our $125 million budget, said Sioux College President David Orazietti. That is disastrous. That results in significant financial hardship for our campus here in Sault Ste. Marie. Likewise, the University of Waterloo's cash cows enrollment has already been in decline, from an average of 9,000 between 2019 and 2021 to around 8,000 last year. In response to the cap, their spokesperson Rebecca Elming said, "We are, however, concerned about the implications of this decision at the undergraduate level, especially in light of the current financial challenges that our institution and our sector are facing." Whereas the real estate moguls at Algoma Diploma Mill were also concerned about the new conditions on reasonable housing, since they're known to have the third most international students in the nation and are number one at exploiting their cash cows. At the Shire's Ivory Tower, the local fat cats dealt with the new cap on their unbalanced books. If Conestoga College had a 50% cut in their international student enrollment, it would mean a potential loss of tens of millions of dollars each year. A similar cut to their cash cow crop would push the Shire's university to the brink of insolvency. They're on track to their fourth year in a row running million-dollar deficits, and they expect it to continue that trend until 2027. But the university's president, Charlotte of Yates, wasn't worried at all. "We don't know what the impact is going to be," she explained, about the cash cow cap. "Because we have a deficit does not mean we're on the brink," she said. "We are here now. We'll be here in another 5 years. We'll be here in another 50 years. That is my commitment," she told herself. But the cash cow cap wasn't the only thing putting the Shire's university at the brink. They're also facing a $3 million lawsuit from Dr. Byram of Bridle, a viral immunologist at the University of Veterinary College. In his lawsuit, Bridle claims he was socially and professionally chastised for publicly speaking out against the university's vaccine mandates. In their defense, the university's lawyers asked the court to dismiss the lawsuit, saying it was frivolous, vexatious, and an abuse of power, since Bridle's asking for millions of dollars in damages from a university with yearly million-dollar deficits. Back at the Council of Elders chambers, the mayor stared out the window while playing the blame game. He was still working on a way to boot the tent encampment, ruining the view from his office window downtown. With his safe space bylaw and closed-door housing symposium, he was hoping to clean up the Shire, like the way the corporation of the Shire keeps its books. The mayor blamed the big blue orc for not holding up his end of the deal for making him whole with the 18,000 homes pledge. Unlike the Shire's university, the corporation of the Shire kept their books in check, thanks to their Chief Accountability Officer, Scott Stewart, and this year's 8.52% residential tax increase. After a 5-year contract, he's taking Lloyd of the Longfield strategy and retiring in glory. Scott helped the mayor and Council of Elders keep their books in check during those years, since the mayor is terrible at math. "I am truly grateful that we had Scott Stewart at the helm as the City of Guelph CAO for 5 years," cheered the mayor. But not everything was as clean-cut as the Chief Accountability Officer. The housing cost crisis has left the Shire in disarray, and it was giving people road rage. The roads they were raging about were the 16 locations in the Shire where the 4 automated speed cameras were set up. With the intent to clean out your wallet, the cameras have collected a total revenue of $447,000 in the first 5 months of use. However, that money wasn't cleanly cut, as only $75,000, or 15.6%, went back to the corporation of the Shire. Both the mayor and the people getting the tickets road raged at the speed cameras. The people were pissed off about getting 3,800 plus tickets for doing 45 in a 30 zone. The mayor was also raging about his low cut, since he didn't see it coming due to his bad math skills. But it all turned out alright, since the mayor calmed himself down with a shopping spree for a new blender. Can Carly of Klassen and the Elder Elves do anything about the housing cost crisis? And will a cap on cash cows collapse the system? Stay tuned here to see. This video is brought to you by brighttutoring.ca. Don't let school get in the way of your education. Book a tutoring session today at brighttutoring.ca.